Welcome to the sun-seared shores of Bleach Beach. This awesome coastal city is built on the back of a real-life jet ski, and it's a part of Relics, A New World Rises, a unique mixed-media sculpture exhibition that contains discarded and forgotten human artifacts and mixes them with intricate brick-built creations. In this video, let me show you all the fun details of this model, as well as give you some building insights and advice on what this creation can teach you about LEGO and mock building. Let's begin. So this model's got all sorts of fun details like a golf course with plenty of beautiful palm trees. There's also some vibrant and colourful hotels, as well as a lot of fine folks enjoying a relaxing day out in some fun and funny ways. Now, as you can see, this creation has a very unique style to it. It's got a very Art Deco vibe. Now, Art Deco is a style of visual arts that's been very popular in the 1920s and 30s, and a lot of the principles of Art Deco are reflected in this build. So let me show you some real-world examples of Art Deco art styles and see how that compares and translates into this LEGO build. So Art Deco is commonly associated with geometric shapes, as you can see in a lot of the architecture here. And of course, you can also see that in various areas of this build. There's often a lot of bold colors which are used in Art Deco styles, and yeah, that's definitely used in this building here. It's also very common to see a lot of glamorous decorations used throughout Art Deco, and there's multiple different areas on some of these buildings that do that as well. Now, there's even a slightly different take on Art Deco, which is nicknamed Tropical Deco. This takes a lot of inspiration from Miami Beach and certainly looks very like lush with palm trees and other beach vibes. I mean, you can see elements of tropical deco in things like GTA Vice City, and you can also see it in something like the TV show Miami Vice as well. So why am I telling you all this? Well, I think a lot of the ideas of taking inspiration from different visual art styles is a really helpful tool when you're building your own LEGO creations. Now, there's many different art styles out there. You've got things like brutalism with its rough surfaces and massive forms, or something like Art Nouveau, which has asymmetrical lines or organic motifs. Now, all of these art styles always have some sort of specific characteristics or traits that make them what they are. So if you're building something in an Art Deco style like this, there's a very specific set of rules that you can follow, and I think that can really help you when you get stuck. So, for example, maybe you're working on a building like this, and as you create it, you get stuck. You have no idea how you're going to build the roof on top. Well, you can always look back to the rules of Art Deco and realize, oh, okay, right, yeah, Art Deco is known for its geometrical shapes, right? So maybe I can just cap off the roof with some interesting shapes. Or maybe you're unsure about what color scheme you want to go with for the building that you're making. Well, you know, Art Deco always uses really bold colors, so what kind of bold LEGO colors are there? Well, there's something like LEGO Friends, which uses so many bright colors, maybe it's worth looking into something like that. So I think the idea of defining a set of rules or boundaries that you can play within when you're building is not only fun, but really helpful to produce better results. And it certainly helps when you're not sure how to progress further with one of your creations. So maybe when you're building future LEGO stuff, you could follow the rules of an existing art style, or just make up your own rules and play within those. Sometimes boundaries are a really brilliant way to get inspired, and it can help clear your mind of the infinite possibilities that you could do, and instead it helps you focus your creative efforts in one specific area, and makes things less overwhelming. So that's some thoughts on the artistic process and a few tips for LEGO building, but let's be sure to take a look at some of the awesome details of this wonderful creation now, shall we? Here's an interesting piece that's been used on a few different places on this creation. This piece is a modified brick with a paper photo holder. That's a strange piece that comes in some LEGO Dots sets, like this one for example, and it was used to hold up photos like you can see here. Now this is a piece that I think has kind of just flown under the radar a little bit, but honestly I think it's pretty cool. And I think it has some really unique shapes to it, and when you put it in a context like this, which has that tropical deco style we were talking about, well, this certainly feels right at home and is a perfect piece to be using. Now this piece appears in 11 Dots LEGO sets at the moment, but I think it's just really lovely to see an obscure part like this just work so well within this context. So definitely pay attention to some weirder pieces like that. It might be one of the perfect things you can include. On a different part of the creation, we can see a lot of these wedge plate pieces being used on the golf course landscape. I've noticed a bit of a rise in these pieces being used within the last few years of LEGO building, and they're a really great piece to have for landscaping. A lot of builders like to use them so that their landscape looks a little bit more interesting and dynamic. It accomplishes something just a little bit different and more exciting than just using regular plates. I think it's very wise to use them here on a golf course because golf courses are notoriously flat and dull. There's really not much you can play with when you're wanting to make it look accurate. So including a lot of these and creating some nice angles with them makes them look lovely and turns fairly flat landscape into something that's a lot more visually interesting to look at. There's also a few references scattered around throughout this build that you might recognize, but there's also plenty of fun storytelling with all these other minifigures as well. Adding in stories with minifigures, it just adds so much to a creation, and it really elevates it to a new level once you add all that. One of these minifigures here, we can see them holding this pool cleaning pole, and that's a fun detail, but the pole itself is clever because it uses a tennis racket piece from a collectible minifigure to make the net. Certainly a very cool part use. And so that's what the team at Relics Exhibitions put together on this awesome sculpture, Bleach Beach. But if you want to see this creation in person, it's on display right now at the South Australia Museum from the 4th of March to July 23rd, 2023. And it's on over in Adelaide, Australia. Now there'll be links and details in the description below if you want to purchase your tickets or just learn a little bit more about the exhibition. Hope you guys enjoyed taking a deep dive into all the details of this LEGO MOC. Thanks for watching guys, happy building, and bye for now.